All right. Hello, everybody. You are with the three Money Amigos. Today, we'll be talking about the child tax credit. Some of you all may have received actual checks in the mail. Some of you all may be wondering, what the heck are they talking about? So for those of you all who aren't familiar with the child tax credit, you want to listen to this. You definitely want to share this with your communities. If you know parents with children, I would suggest you share this. If you know people who are thinking about having children one day, I suggest you share this. If you're just looking to learn a little bit more about money so you can sound smarter at the networking event, I suggest you watch this. Now, we have three amazing Money Amigos with us today. And the first one will introduce herself, Miss Joye Sistrunk.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joye Sistrunk of Premier Group, a CPA firm in the Lanham area who is working with government contractors and nonprofits on being money ready.
And Miss Beverly Winstead.
I'm Beverly Winstead. I'm with the law office of Beverly Winstead. I am a tax attorney. We help to resolve tax problems. If you owe IRS and you can't afford to pay them, we help negotiate settlements. If you're going through an audit, we can defend you in an audit. And also, if you have unfiled tax returns, which I'm finding a lot of people have not filed their tax returns, you absolutely want to give us a call because the IRS, I'm telling you, is actually really, really, really going after people that have filed tax returns. That is what I am finding that's happening right now in the IRS land.
So everybody, today we're going to dive into the child tax credits. And some of you all may have received notice that, families with income changes must enter those income changes through the IRS portal. So what does that mean going through the IRS portal, and what are, income changes? Like, what qualifies as an income change? And what happens if you have children, but you never got the tax credit? So I think we should start off by defining what is the child tax credit.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because a lot of people are getting checks and they don't realize why they're getting checks, right? So the child tax credit pre-20, it's actually changed over the last couple of years, at least as I've been practicing at least 3 times, right? When I first started practicing 10 years ago, the child tax credit, I want to say it was about $1,000.
Let's say $1,000, maybe $1,200. It wasn't much. It
wasn't much. And the income, you couldn't qualify for it if you were married filing jointly. The income cap was $110,000, right? Yep. Which in this area, like $110,000, just one spouse can make $110,000 easily in this area. So I was glad to see in 2017 with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that the income limitation was raised to, I believe it was like 400,000, right?
It was 400,000.
Yeah, it was 400,000. And then what you could get is up to $2,000 in the child tax credit. So the 400,000 is obviously for married filing jointly. For single people, it would be 200,000 that you could earn and still qualify to get $2,000 in a child tax credit if your child was 16 years old and younger. I never understood why they left 17-year-olds out of this bill. Like, your 17-year-old still living with you, right? I can see 18-year-old because 18-year-olds, they're in that situation where they're about to go to college. And so they will qualify for the American Opportunity Credit, the Lifetime Learning Credit, maybe the tuition and fees deduction. But I still never understood why 17-year-olds were left out of the child tax credit. So
I'm guessing maybe some of the 17-year-olds they thought would be in college, or they needed a buffer year not to pay out.
Because that is right. Usually 17, you're usually still in high school. You're usually finishing at least half the year of your 17th year, or for most people, most of the year they're still in high school.
They're still in high school at 17.
Well, I mean, at some point, maybe the government just needed a break. They needed that hiatus not to expend all their money and then not be able to give it out. So,
yeah, it's true, but it also goes, this is why it's important to have representatives in Congress that are going to represent your interests, because for, most people, that are minority based, this is one of the biggest credits that they get. Like, we don't get another opportunity to get like preferential treatment on capital gains, which is something that, higher income earners can get. Also, when you talk about the mortgage interest deduction, those kinds of things, people that don't own homes can't take advantage of that. So the child tax credit is definitely something that when you talk about who is being impacted, is going to be your minority, your people that aren't considered, majority, so to speak. So.
Yeah, and for anybody who's out there watching, this is one of those things where, if you're going to the H&R Blocks, or if you're just getting somebody to prepare tax, you may not get this level of service, or they may not explain it to you the way we're going to explain it to you today. So you definitely want to listen. And again, I'd stress this: if you have friends with children under the age of 16, you want to share this link. If you're listening to our podcast later on via the 3moneyamigos.com website, you want to share the link with people that have children. I mean, even to the point, we have watch parties for Super Bowls. Why not have a watch party for this? So, if you are thinking about new things and new ways to think about your money and relate to your money, if you're going to do a watch party for a new show, or everybody get together to watch a new series, call your friends, say, everybody pull up this and we're going to watch it together and talk about it. So with that being said, let's dive in. Now, it's been said that if a person or family has their income has changed significantly, they need to go into the portal, the Irs Portal, and update that information before November the 1st if they want their November payment to be different. What is this portal they speak of?
So can I chime in for a second, Joy? Because I wanted to finish the child tax credit. I was still on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act portion of the tax credit.
Sure.
Then in 2020, we have the CARES Act that comes out, right? So it was under the CARES Act. Is that right, Joy? Because there was so many.
It was under the CARES Act.
Passed last year. I know it was a consolidated.
All of them had. It's under one of the acts that came out in 2020.
Pretty sure it's the CARES Act, though, where they increase the amount of child tax credit from $2,000 to $3,000 if your child is 7 years old and above, 7 years old to 16, I believe, right? I think they still have 17.
They didn't, yes, still 17 is out.
Okay. And then if your child is 6 years old and below, then you qualify for $3,600, right? So ordinarily you would claim these credits at the end of the year when you file your tax return, you would claim these credits. The other part that the CARES Act authorized is advance payments. So when you listen to the news, sometimes the news will say, which kind of irritates me, hey, there's another stimulus check coming out. You guys be on the lookout. IRS is sending another round of stimulus checks. Well, guess what? It's not the stimulus checks that we think are the stimulus checks. It is the advanced child tax credits that payments that you are receiving. Why is this important to know? And then we can get into the portal. It's important to know because if you're relying on getting a huge refund at the end of the year, and your refund is based upon, let's say, maybe the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit, the advanced child tax credit, if you are now going throughout the year and you're getting these payments, guess what? You will not get this money at the end of the year when you file your tax return. You won't get it.
Yep, your refund is going to be completely different, and we just want to make sure you're highlighting it is an advance. The stimulus payments weren't taxable. You didn't have to. We had to report them, but they didn't make you pay them back if your income had changed. But now this is an advance. This is an advance. This is an advance. That means if you get too much, they're going to get their money back by reducing your tax return and possibly cause you to owe next year when you normally wouldn't.
Right. So that's why I felt like this was an important topic, and I wanted to come and make sure our followers knew this, because we don't want you to be blindsided at the end of the year. Right. We really don't want you to be blindsided. in April or March or February or whenever you file your tax returns in 2022, because you've gotten these payments and you're thinking they're stimulus checks and you're spending them just kind of however you want to spend them, right?
So that's where the portal comes in. The portal is an IRS portal. And so they have, I would say to me, in the history of my career, the last 10, 20 years, they have moved the fastest into technology in the last 18 months. I feel like COVID really pushed them. They were already working on some technology initiatives, but this kind of pushed them to move a little bit faster than they probably wanted to. So they've created a portal where you can go in and tell them if your income changed. Did your income go up because you got a new job and you're now making more money and your child tax credit needs to be adjusted? Or did you lose your job or have another event that's causing your income to be lower than what it is in the prior year, and you want to get the advanced check, you want to increase the amount of your advanced payment now? At this point, November 1st is passed. So if you didn't put your information in yesterday, then your next chance is to adjust it before November 29th so that you can catch the December payment, which is the last payment for 2021. So if you want to make adjustments, you would need to log into this portal and adjust your income so that your payment now reflects where you are. And that's what the portal is. Magic.
Is the portal via irs.gov?
It is via irs.gov.
Okay. So anybody out there watching, you can go to irs.gov and actually do it in the search bar. If you're looking for it, I would suggest just putting it into the search bar, because more than likely it's going to pull up the portal directly and you can log in.
It is. And if you would put in the search bar either CTC, which is child tax credit, or type out child tax credit, and it'll take you directly to that link for the portal to adjust it.
I'm actually going to put the link in the chat box.
Go ahead, Bev.
If anybody's watching online, they can just quickly grab the link from there. But if you're listening to the podcast, you go to irs.gov and then you'll see, really on the front page, because they know how important this is for you to do, you'll see something that says manage your child tax credit payments.
So now, one of the things, a lot of people, you mentioned, both of you all have talked about the fact that this can change your return positively or quote unquote negatively next year. And I say quote negatively because essentially you're just getting it sooner. So it's not truly affecting it. It's just that it's being paid out to you in advance. So when you're used to getting a certain amount, it feels negative, but it really isn't. So just, kind of give you a level set from a mind standpoint there. But for those individuals who are thinking, I don't want to get this money right now, can you stop the check?
You can try. You can put into the portal and ask them to stop the payment. But in some cases, if you're already in the system, they're just going to self-generate. And so I know I personally have a couple clients who we have discussed it, and they know without a shadow of a doubt they shouldn't have gotten a check. And so I have told them to hold those checks, and when we do their taxes, are going to mail them back. That's what I'm telling my clients. But what are you telling your clients?
Well, the conversations that I've had with my clients really are the ones that are entitled to the payments. And I think the question is, do they want to get the payments now, or do they want to get it on when they file their tax returns? And so what I've been sharing with them is some of the information I've been learning through Investing Education Academy. Time is on your side when you're investing. So, hey, if you're getting the money in advance and out front, don't just have it sit in a bank account. Let's figure out if there's some investment vehicle that we can put that money in where it can begin to generate some increased rate of return. And the returns that are happening right now in the stock market are really nice, I say phenomenal. I'll let Brent speak more on that, but so I'm saying, hey, maybe this is the opportunity for you to use this money to really, begin investing and generating some return on that money. Just don't sit it in a bank account.
So no, when I say I'm telling them to hold it, I mean literally hold the check. Don't even put it in the bank and cash it, because we know that when they get to the end of next year, they're going to owe money and possibly owe penalties and interest. So we want to be able to send these payments back to remove the penalties and interest from the amounts that they shouldn't have gotten already. So it's kind of a different strategy depending on really your budget and how you're going to, how you are going to, I guess.
Well, I think I think it's the same strategy because I think the situation is different. Like you're saying, for those that don't qualify for the payments, you're telling them to hold it, right?
Hold them. Yeah.
And for those that the clients, I don't know that I've had a situation where I've had a client call me and said, look, I'm not entitled to get these payments. The situation I'm talking about for me, the clients I've been talking to are those that are getting these checks. I know they're entitled to the checks,
right?
Probably, unless their income has drastically changed. But I know that they're entitled to the checks just based upon their prior year taxes that I just paid. And the conversation is, okay, you're entitled to this. I just want you to know at the end of the year, you're not going to get a huge refund, right?
Right.
Like you have been in the past. So what I'm saying to you is, hey, this $300 that you're getting each month or $600, the question is, are you just going to sit in a bank account,
right.
or are you going to figure out how to have that money work for you, which is something I've learned in Investing Education Academy.
So one of the things, Joye Beverly being my tax advisor, I called her and was like, I don't want this. So she explained to me exactly what she said. And even once she explained it, what my wife and I did is we started splitting each check between our two girls and investing it. So each check that comes in, we split between the girls and invest it. And I will tell you, from what Tesla did recently, I am cool not receiving, that refund later on. And so it was a huge benefit to use it now. Because the return it couldn't happen any other way. So
it's funny because I was looking at Tesla today. Tesla is the highest it's ever been at 45. No, that's Ethereum. I was thinking about Ethereum. Sorry. Yeah. Tesla went to 45. I was like, wait a minute, that don't sound right. Tesla's
no.
Right? Ethereum went to $4,500.
No, but it's really true. Like what you said is if you're going to receive this money, and you have the opportunity, you don't necessarily need it to survive. So for anybody who's listening to this, like, you know what? I need to buy groceries. I don't know what you all are talking about. We know you exist. And the reason why we do these 3 Money Amigos sessions is because some of our fees are too high for you to maybe set an appointment. So we want to make sure the information gets to you from a reliable source. And so for those of you who are watching this right now, like, well, look, I got to pay bills. So tell me, what do I need to do to get into this portal to switch things? That is something we're going to discuss. You're going to be, addressed. But for those of you all who are receiving it thinking, we're okay, life isn't bad, you can think about what else can you do with this money to grow your kids, make your kids' future better. And for those of you all who know you shouldn't have received the money, you should have never gotten this check, you need to schedule an appointment with Joye so you can sit down and go, all right, what now? And Joye, I'll say this. You mentioned that you're telling them to hold it. So this is actually conversational for me. Why hold it versus not just send it back right now?
Because they are so confused right now. We have people, I know Bev and I talk about it quite a bit. I have people getting notices for 2019. In fact, I have a client recently who got a $5,000 check for 2019. But we already know that the IRS is wrong, and they're going to ask them for the money back. And so when you get the notice, you can just put that check back in the back and mail it back with the notice to them, and it will remove all penalties and interest because it shows that you knew it was wrong and you held it in good faith. So that's why we were holding.
Okay. And for those of you all who are out there thinking like, oh my gosh, taxes are coming up and I haven't started doing my planning, and you haven't scheduled an appointment with the law office Beverly Winstead, and you're thinking, well, what can I do? You can schedule an appointment. But other than that, for those of you all who are the tax child tax credit, if you are in that group and you are in that place where you're surviving right now, like COVID has hit very hard, and you're not worried about all this investing stuff, you're like, survival, what can I do? So if your income has gone down, you can also go to irs.gov through the portal and make a statement that your income has been adversely affected. And I believe, I don't know how the process works, so you guys can jump in any point on this. Once they confirm your income has gone down, Or are they just taking it at face value?
No, you're taking it at face value because it's your word. Eventually, we're going to have to reconcile this when we do your taxes. So they're literally just taking you at face value. There is no additional verification process. I don't even think they have time to go through and verify all these different pieces.
They don't.
Verification comes when you do your tax return.
And let me say this for you all out there, and you know who you are. So for you all out there who are claiming your nephews and nieces and the neighbors' kids and all these things because you're thinking, oh, I just reconcile it when I do my taxes. This is not the same situation where you're going in and reporting some super low income because you think you can, and you're just like, I'll deal with it when tax time comes.
Going back to Joye, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, how it also works, that there may be a situation where you may have qualified for the child tax credit in 2020, but not in 2021. So you're going to be screwed up in that situation too. Just an example that comes to mind is, let's say you are divorced and you have in the divorce decree, you rotate with your spouse, claiming your child, right? So when your 2020 tax return was filed, guess what? You got the child tax credit. So once it hits IRS's system, they're basing the next set of payments based upon your last filed tax return, which means in 2021, you could be getting advanced child tax credit payments this whole year. And then when you go and file your 2021 tax return and you don't claim your child, you are going to have to reconcile that back on the tax return, and you may owe. So that's why it's important that you go in here, to the extent that you can manage the payments right now, you try to manage them. If you decide that you want to, follow Joye's strategy and holding the checks and then sending it back to IRS at that time, you can do that. I think for me, if you've already cashed the checks, and I would recommend that you make estimated tax payments back to the IRS. That could be another way that you can prevent yourself from having a balance and then having additional penalties and interest accrue on top of that balance. So, it's very important that you understand your unique situation. That's why we can't give you definitive answers as to what you should do, because everybody's situation is unique.
It's not one size fit all, but that was a great example with having the rotating parents, because you and I both deal with lots of divorced people, and that happens all the time. Or your child may have just aged out or may have gotten a job, and now they're just no longer your dependent. I mean, all types of things are happening, and the year 2020 and the year 2021 are going to be completely different. So it's important that you sit down with Beverly and myself and do the tax planning, because when you get it in January, it's too late. There's very few, we're limited, we're down to like 3 to 5 things that we can do to help you reduce your tax bill. And most of those are still kind of limiting because you have to still have cash available to put someplace. But if you would talk to us now, this is the time to really be looking at your situation and making sure you're positioning yourself to not get to the end of next year and or to get the refund that you were looking for. But we can only do that if you talk to us now.
Yeah, and we have 60 days, everybody, to the end of the year.
58. It's 50. It's 59.
That's what happens when you're on the phone with attorneys and CPAs. 58. So
this is the time of year where I just like to coast. So I'm not rushing these 58 days. This is really the time when I get to breathe and relax. So I'm going to do that, Joye. Don't be rushed. Don't be counting these days.
We got 58 days. What that also means is don't try to call us on December 30th trying to figure out what your tax strategy is. You need to talk to us and get your appointment scheduled today for sometime in November, because Bev is always good for a vacation. So you might not even be able to get her on the line. So you might as well forget it. So the sooner the better is what we're trying to say.
So again, everybody, we're talking about the child tax credit, and this is your opportunity, whether your income has increased, whether your income has decreased, whether your situation has changed, you can go to the Irs Portal and make those changes known to change the amount that you're receiving from the child tax credit checks. Now, for those of you all who are like, how do I get there? And you're just getting into the show, you just started listening to the podcast, you just perked up. You can go to irs.gov and actually put in CTC in the search bar, or you can put in child tax credit, and it is also populating on the front page of irs.gov. So follow the links. And of course, if you need to schedule an appointment, you can go to www.irshelpattorneys.com, which is Attorney Winstead's link. And if you want to get to the link for Premier Group Services, Joye, what would be the best way for them to get to your link?
They can just go to the website at www.pgs-cpa.com, and they can schedule an appointment with us there as well.
So what I will do personally is I'll go in and drop the links into the chat of the this Facebook chat. But for those of you all who are listening to the podcast, I want to make sure that, I said those two places you can go to for that information. Now, if you have received the checks and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I really would love to invest for my kids, you can go to investingeducationacademy.com and we can talk to you all about strategies on how to set up accounts for your children, how to start investing for them, because I promise you, once you learn the benefits of investing, there's really no going back. So
let me say this, Brent, because this morning I went to the gym. I got to get my 4 days of workouts in, right? So I got up early this morning. Well, not really early, but I was out of the house by 6:15. All right, headed to the gym, got to the gym, worked out. Then on the drive back, I stopped at Tropical Smoothie Cafe because I said, look, I need to have more fruit in my diet. Let me go get a smoothie. Okay, that's true, because I'm trying to be healthy. So I pull up to Tropical Smoothie Cafe drive-thru, and it was I ordered a chia banana smoothie, which I love, right? So I got there, and they told me it was $7.50. So I was like, how much Shiba can I buy with $7.50? For those of you who don't know, Shiba is a cryptocurrency, right? It's a token. Right. So the reason why I bring that up is because once you, like Brent said, once you get into investing, you're like, wait a minute, this $7.50 could actually be worth $500 next year, So when I know we talked about, sometimes people, they got to pay their bills. They absolutely, so we want to be sensitive to that also. But there are opportunities also, even if you have $7.50, which I said, I'm not going back here again, not anytime soon, because I'm going to take this $7.50 and go and invest it in some kind of altcoin, or whether it's Dogecoin, a fractional share of
anything,
Ethereum, or Mana. We were talking about Mana last night, and Shiba. I was like, no. And it's so funny because the other day I remember somebody posted on Facebook, if you found $100, what would you do? Right. So there was choice A, would you return it? Would you try to find the owner? Choice B, would you invest it? Choice C, would you go shopping? Or choice D, would you take your partner out for lunch? And I put, man, I'm going shopping. This is my therapy. This is the way I decompress. And Brent, you chimed in. You were like, really, Beverly? And I knew what you were getting at. I knew you wanted me to say investing. But I'm like, no, this is my therapy. I'm going out. I'm going shopping. I'm going to blow this $100.
That's like a smack on the hand from your parents.
It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. I know my investment advisor and business advisor is in here.
So, really, I'll say this.
Being my conscience.
For everybody listening, $41 invested in Bitcoin in 2010 would be worth $326 million today. So, when you think about those things, and again, you got to have fun though. Life, you have to have fun. But when it comes to this child tax credit, just think about your options. What is your A, B, or C options for yourself? And kind of lay it out and decide after you discuss it with either your spouse or just to yourself, which one makes the most sense for you. And your ABC options can be anything that you want them to be. It's effectively is your money, right? But the IRS will be a reckoning. So just make a smart decision. And the three Money Amigos, the reason why we did this is all of us are in fields that deal with money. All of us are friends, and there are three of us. That's why we created the name Three Money Amigos. And we know there's a large population of people that just don't get information like this from reputable sources. So after we're done with each one of these podcasts, our goal is that you have action steps now. You know, what action step would you take? It might be setting an appointment with one of us, all of us. It may be, meeting with whoever your professional is. It may be just having a conversation with your spouse. Either way, have an action after you listen to these, because it's cool. We appreciate the support, but really we're here to support you. So with that being said, we thank you for today. Does anybody have anything before of course we're gonna go around the room, but is there anything I missed before we do our outros?
Great summary.
Yes, I have something I wanted to say. Mm-hmm. I rethought my choice to go shopping. And I said, you know what? I could at least take half of this and invest it, and then, so yeah, you're staying on me and thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm teaching my business, right? The children in my life, yeah, invest.
So that's perfect, right? Well, since Attorney Winston is already up, I'll let her start the outro.
Okay, so thank you guys for listening and tuning in. I'll give my contact information. If you need to reach me, you can absolutely give us a call at 301-306-1234. We love to be able to help you. You also can visit our website at www.irshelpattorneys.com. And
can you give that telephone number one more time for those people driving or listening to this while exercising?
Sure. 301-306-1234.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Sistrunk, can you give your outro information?
Sure. So Joye Sistrunk of Premier Group. We can be reached at 301-577-6444 or www.pgs-cpa.com, working with government contractors and nonprofits and businesses to be money ready in regards to their tax savings and their back office. So we are definitely here to support you. And thank you again for listening today.
All right. And my name is Brent Simpson. I am the co-founder of Investing Education Academy. We're a platform that helps people understand the stock market, cryptocurrency, real estate, and other investments. So if you're looking to learn more about either cryptocurrency, stocks, or what you can do with monies that you have in places that aren't doing anything for you, please contact us. You can go to www.investingeducationacademy.com, or you can go to www.ieanow.com. So for everybody listening, thank you so much.